Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to if you're new. We are going to take this Hawaiian skirt, which I found at a discounted price at the Dollar Tree. They had all of the summer stuff on sale, and we are going to turn this into a fabulous DIY witch broom. So if you are excited for today's video, make sure to show me some love by giving me that thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you know every single time that I upload. All right, you guys, so we are going to go ahead and take this skirt, and we are basically going to make sure to get it as close together as possible so that there aren't any gaps. And then we are going to go ahead and basically I'm going to go ahead and show you that we're going to flip it together, and then we are going to go ahead and cut it because we're going to utilize this one skirt to make two brooms. So I'm going to show you guys how I go ahead and do that. But I do also want to make sure to wish you guys a very happy Labor Day. I hope you guys are enjoying your day off if you do work like myself. So this was a part of my son's costume a couple years ago. It was from a Grim Reaper scythe that he broke. So I kept it, and I'm glad I did because now I get to use it for my witch's broomstick. So as you could see, I used its own twine to go ahead and basically glue it down, but then I went ahead and used my own twine to reinforce it, just because we want to go ahead and just keep it as taut as possible. And now that really is all it takes. It is so cute, and it is just perfect, and it makes for such a cute little you know, basically prop or even costume piece that you could utilize for yourself, or, you know, a kid, or, you know, whatever. But I just absolutely love it. And now we're going to use the other part, and I'm going to show you how to create a mini version of this. So basically, as you can see, all I did was go ahead and gather all the remaining pieces, and then I'm using zip ties to go ahead and basically gather them all together into pieces. And the messier I personally think, the better it looks. Then I went ahead and took my scissors and kind of clipped the very tops just to make it evenly messy as possible, if you will. And now I'm going to go ahead and take some glue, and we are going to go ahead and cover those zip ties with more of the twine. Now, I personally love the twine because I think it gives it more of that authentic, witchy, basically rustic look, if you will. But there are people who prefer to do a ribbon. You can certainly do that. I'm going to show you in just a bit how I do one of my brooms with ribbon, but I wanted these two to be a little bit more authentic-ish looking, if you will. But do them however you would prefer. Now this is a dowel. I chose to leave it the natural color just because if I ever choose to not use it for an actual witch broom, I could use this dowel for anything else. Just as an FYI, but of course you are more than welcome to stain the dowel. You're more than welcome to paint the dowel. Do as you wish with the dowel. Now I have other ideas that I may end up DIYing with this broomstick later on, but I am still kind of trying to decide how I want to do it. So for now, I am just showing you a mini broomstick. But yeah, stay tuned for that. I may or may not do it, and that's why I haven't quite decided, and that's why I'm just kind of setting that to the side for now. And now we are going to take, now this is a citronella candle, it's not a candle, it's a, whatchamacallit. But anyway, I'm taking one of those hand saws from Dollar Tree, and I'm basically going to cut off the top part. Again, this is another thing that I purchased on clearance. And we are going to take these awesome twigs from Dollar Tree, and we are going to utilize the bottom of these, and we are going to convert this into a broom. So I ended up using 5 of these, but of course it just depends on how thick you want your broom to be, on how many you can purchase. Now I'm using black zip ties for this particular project instead of clear ones or white ones like I was using on the other one to attach these. And the reason for that is because the ribbon that I am going to be using on this particular broom is going to end up being like a sheer-ish one, and so the zip tie won't even affect it because you won't even be able to tell that it's a zip tie once I cut it off. So just an FYI, just think ahead on what you want to do. But this is such a nifty, cool looking broom. And again, obviously this is a miniature broom, but this is such a cool prop, a cool display that you can use in your decor. And I think it is fabulous, and it's super cheap. I mean, this whole project literally cost me like $5 to make, and only because I already had the ribbon on hand, and that citronella thing, I actually ended up paying like 25 cents for it or something like that. Anyway, so I really hope that you guys are enjoying these different ideas on how you can create your own broomsticks at home if you choose to make these for either costumes or props for this Halloween. All right, you guys, so this is going to be the last DIY witch broom that we are going to make, and it was so hard to come up with finding one of these corn brooms that was reasonably priced. I ended up finding this at a Family Dollar here in Utah that cost me $4, and that was super cheap because these are actually quite pricey. And you know, I wasn't going to spend that much money for a project that I was going to end up basically using as a prop. So $4 I was definitely willing to spend. Even $5 I was okay with. But anyway, so if you find one for a reasonable price, go ahead and go for it, but don't spend like 10 or $15 for something that you're not going to actually use. If this is going to be, you know, like a costume prop, or, you know, just like a basically project for a DIY. But again, it's up to you guys. But obviously, I think this is one of those materials that I think is super cool. And I think that this will give you a awesome witch broom, which honestly it did. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is a total pain in the butt to take off, but it kind of makes perfect sense. I mean, they have to make it super sturdy so that it doesn't come apart on you like super easily. But basically, as long as you have wire cutters and you are super patient, you can definitely take it apart. You're basically going to use all of the parts, including some of this wire. I already have wire on hand, but I figured why not use what it came with? You know what I mean? To reattach it. But we are going to make it not so, you know, in a regular broom type form. We want to make it in a witchy form. You'll see what I mean shortly. But you're basically going to take it apart in the different layers that they put it in. And I will not be utilizing this same broomstick that it came in. You certainly can, and you can paint it if you want. Now, I have seen some people who go out and find, you know, really cool sticks out. You know, if you have like old trees, or if you can go to a park and find an old tree that, you know, something that has fallen, don't go stealing people's, you know, limbs, guys, tree limbs. I live in a very new neighborhood. We built our home 3 years ago, so unfortunately we don't have very established trees out here. All of my neighborhood trees, including my own, are baby trees, so not gonna find that here in my neighborhood. Even if I go out to parks and stuff, they do a very good job at cleaning up. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna find tree limbs that have fallen, and I am not about to steal anyone's limbs off trees. So my son has this super nifty hiking stick that he said I could use for my prop because he hasn't hiked in forever. And you know, I will probably have to find a different stick when he wants to use that again. But for the sake of this video and for this year, since he probably won't be using it, and I know I'm not going to be hiking with him for a minute due to my injury. So anywho, I will be using that this year. So I am going to go ahead, now that I've taken this apart, I'm going to set it aside and show you guys the nifty basically walking stick that he purchased many years ago. And we are going to take off the very disgusting cord that he had wrapped around it, and he okayed all of this before I did it, of course. And we are going to go ahead and put the broom together, and I will show you how that works. So you're probably wondering why I did not use zip ties for this particular broom, and the reason for that is because with this particular material you don't want to break it because it easily breaks, and you also want it to be as loose as possible just because you want to give it that witchy effect, that homemade look. And so the wire actually works best, and it actually gives it that look that you're going for. And then as you can see here, we're utilizing the twine to reinforce it and also to give it that final touch that you're looking for. And once we get done with this, I'm going to go ahead and show you how all of our brooms turned out, and I'm really happy with the way that they look. I want you guys to let me know which one of today's brooms is your favorite. And last but not least, we have one more DIY project for you today, and I'm really excited with that one as well. All right, you guys, so for this very last project, I just took a regular cauldron and then I went ahead and just added some gold paint, silver paint, and matte black paint so that it didn't look like a cheap, you know, just regular plastic cauldron. I try to make it look as realistic as possible, and quite honestly, it's just a matter of dabbing color and then just making it look like the gold had spilled over. Very basic. And then I took some lights from Dollar Tree and I put it inside of the cauldron. I will show you guys how it looks lit and how it looks unlit, of course. And then we are going to take some Christmas ornaments that are clear. Now, I had some from last year, but I didn't purchase enough. So these are the lights that I was talking about, and we are going to utilize those and basically make it look like it is bubbling over. And it's so cool. You can add as many or as little as you want. Now, I chose not to glue them onto the actual cauldron. I basically started placing them on top of the cauldron and glued them onto each other so that I could turn off and on the lights as I wanted to. But then I ended up kind of zigzagging the lights around. You guys will see what I mean here shortly. Now, this is an option if you want to go the Dollar Tree route, but then I ended up actually going to Hobby Lobby because not a lot of places are actually selling Christmas decor right now, but Hobby Lobby is. They are anti-Halloween, which is not something I'm loving about Hobby Lobby. Actually, you guys, I'm kind of feeling a little anti-Hobby Lobby lately over that. That's a whole other subject. But anyway, you're going to want to take big of these bulbs, medium ones and small ones, just to give it that bubbling effect. And you're just going to alternate them and just kind of, you know, get a feel for how it looks. But basically, I'm just gluing them around, and it gives it such a cool effect, you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how it ends up looking at the very end. But basically, take your time. And I ended up buying, of course, the plastic ones. You don't want to do the glass ones at all. But this is how cool it looks at the very end. Isn't that awesome? And I ended up purchasing most of those at Hobby Lobby, as I mentioned. So I really hope that you guys love it as much as I do. I'm going to go ahead and show you my awesome setup at the very end, which you guys got a sneak peek at the very beginning. But I really hope that you guys have enjoyed today's video. I really hope that you guys have gotten some inspiration and some ideas. As always, please share which one of today's DIY projects has been your favorite. And as always, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.